Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Tim. Today is May 31st, 2016, and we're live. Welcome to Coffee with Tim. So, since our last broadcast, a few of the weeks the recording didn't work, so unfortunately that won't be available on the archives section of the Coffee with Tim page, but today's session seems to be recording correctly, so hopefully that's the case. One of the cool new features that I just added recently that I wanted to kind of go over in this video is the new questionnaire upload field. So let me just show you that real quick. I'm going to go to templates and questionnaires. I'm going to load up one of my templates here. Just go to this test one. Cool. And so, well, let me first hit add after or add question, just so you can see. So we've got a whole bunch of different field types, and then there's these special fields that we have. These are actually, like this one will display a first and last name field that maps right to the client's name. This will display all the different address fields, you know, street, city, postal code, country, all that stuff. And then you can configure all those too. This one will actually add a location if you add this questionnaire to an event. Same with a vendor. You can do page breaks, so you can hit like a continue to next page, just so that it's not one giant long page of questions. And then the new special field is called a file upload field. And so you can just say, I'm just using this as an example, send me your favorite image for the album cover. You can make it required or not. And then you can choose whether you want them to be able to upload a whole bunch of different types of files or only images. And then hit save. And there it is. And so what's really cool is once you add this questionnaire template to your lead or your event, which I'm going to do right now. Just going to go to my lead real quick. That was in contacts leads. And then I'm going to go over here to the questionnaires tab, create a new one right from that test. Okay, let's launch it. And so you'll see here, now it says send me your favorite image for the album cover. You just click upload image, and then it'll be right here in line. And the cool thing is if you hit submit now, you'll see which ones are required and which ones aren't. So you can have an upload field not be required, or you can also make it required so that they have to upload an image or a file for your questionnaire. So yeah, I mean, you can use this for pretty much anything. There's anything that you would need someone to actually upload a file for. So, you know, get in there and feel free to add it. And then, so now here, I'm viewing the actual questionnaire that I added to my lead. And you'll see it doesn't look like a button anymore. In here, it'll actually display the URL of the uploaded file. So that way you can just select it, copy it, and either paste it to download or, you know, save it wherever you need to save it. So that's why you'll actually see a field here and not a just a dummy button. Cool. So that's the new questionnaire upload fields that were just added recently. So hopefully you guys find that super useful and you know, start using that. And so for today, I'm just going to go over projects real quick. I'm just going to take a look at projects and how they're different than events. Some people are just, you know, what's the difference between an event and a project? And, you know, sometimes it can be kind of confusing. So I just want to kind of demystify that, so to speak. So I'm going to load up a client real quick. All right, so I've loaded up my client. And here we have a whole bunch of events and a whole bunch of projects. Oh, and apparently we've got some technical issues. Hold on, what's going on here? Can everybody see my screen? Just want to make sure that this is actually working. All right, well, I think it seems like it's working, so hopefully it is. These good old Google. Good old Google. All right, well, I'll just keep going then so as not to waste too much time. All right, so difference between an event and a project. All right, so I mean, from here, I'm in a client, and you'll already see that there's separate sections for an event and a project. And so an event and a project are very similar in some ways and different in others. So an event is tied to a specific date on your calendar. So you've got an event type. These are all the different event types I have. And you can, it's tied to a specific date on my calendar, give it a start and end time. You can even have a multi-day event if you want it to span a few different days. Inside the event, you can send off event reminders and add tasks and little event alerts, and you can associate vendors and staff to it. Events can have locations like where you're actually doing the event. You can track your mileage, do timelines and workflow and products and invoices and link to galleries and questionnaires and all kinds of stuff, time tracking and contracts and everything. And so, but those are all still tied to a specific date on your calendar. And so a project is a lot more open-ended, so to speak. So in a project, you just define what a project type is. I just have a bunch of test project types. And you'll see there's no place to assign a staff member or vendors or locations or anything like that on an event. No timelines, nothing like that. But you still have workflow and tasks, invoices, questionnaires, contracts. You can still do time tracking and still track the different financial stuff. So the cool thing about projects is that they're open-ended, and you can still do a lot of the same things that you can on an event, but now you're not tied to just one specific date on your calendar. You just have a start date and an end date, and you can let it know, what's the percentage of completion and all that kind of stuff. So I hope that kind of helps answer that question for people who are kind of like, well, should I use a project? Should I use an event? It all depends on what you're trying to track. I know a lot of people use projects for like designing and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's kind of the difference. Is there anything that you guys want to see me show you in here right now? Does anyone have any questions or things they want to see? One thing that I haven't shown in these Coffee with Tim videos, since I don't see anyone posting questions yet, in settings and sharing, there's this Pixify ID. You can use that to, you can send it to different people in the Pixify support group, and they can share questionnaire templates and workflow templates and all kinds of stuff with you. If you need some good samples, you can just post your Pixify ID, and they can just click in their account and click share with Studio, and then they can share things with you. So, if you're watching this and you're like, oh man, I really need a good workflow template, or I need a questionnaire for something, feel free to post your Pixify ID in the support group, the Facebook support group, and people are always in there willing to share and help you out. So definitely feel free to do that. So Colleen was talking about how right now Pixify works with Shootproof, but what about PixieSet? Colleen, I would love to integrate with PixieSet. However, I've talked to them multiple times, and just doesn't seem like it's on their radar to do. So if they do decide to develop an API, sure, absolutely, I'll integrate with them. But right now, it just doesn't seem like they want to do that. So Corey, still setting up, going through the videos, still a little overwhelming. Yep, absolutely. Once I'm set up, where's the best place to start? All right, so Corey, if you are just, you've already gone through the Getting Started wizard, there's up at the top, right next to this little lightning bolt icon, there should be a progress indicator that kind of lights up green as you set things up. Once you once you get everything on that list all done and all checked off and everything's set up and ready to go as far as that, I would say the first thing that I would at least do is create a new lead. You can either create a quick lead right from here, or go to leads, contacts, leads, and then create a new lead. And then if I were you, I would just walk through the process of manually booking my lead. And so, once you have all the event information and stuff like that, I would say go up to actions and then convert lead into a client. In fact, I think sometime in March, I made a video on Coffee with Tim that basically walks you through how to manually convert a lead into a client and an event. So I would say go through that, just so that way you have a good understanding of how that works. How you can take a lead and it creates a client and an event, and then on the new event you can create the invoice and create the contract manually, just so you can see what that is like, and then send it to yourself to sign, and you just basically kind of go through it as if you are the client. That's probably the best place to start, just so that you end up seeing what your clients would see, and then from there you can kind of tweak and streamline, and okay, that doesn't really work, or maybe this or whatever. So I think that would be a great place to start. So I hope that helps you. So when someone books an event, what is the best way to automatically send a follow-up questionnaire? That is a great question. In fact, it's super easy. So let's just say I manually converted this lead into a client. There's this little auto-assign event workflow. And in here, you choose which workflow template you want to automatically apply to the newly booked event. I'm not going to actually convert this lead real quick, but in the workflow template, I'm just going to load that right now for you. And I'm just going to load this dummy one, but in this little automatic items section, these are items that will get sent off or scheduled right away. So what I would say is go to this add questionnaire, choose whatever questionnaire you want to send. Like this is you could even do a thank you questionnaire, whatever. What email template you want to use to send it, because the email template needs to have the link to where it needs to go. And then, when to send it. So this little after booking date, you could literally send it 0 days after that booking date. And so as soon as this workflow template is applied, let me just send this at 9 in the morning. As soon as the workflow template is applied to the newly booked event, it will schedule this one 0 days after booking date, which means pretty much within 15 minutes, it will send that questionnaire right to your client. So that would probably be the best way to send a follow-up when someone books an event. And because these dates are flexible, you could say, you know what, after they book, I want to send it maybe 1 extra day after, just so that it doesn't seem so automatic. You could totally do that. Or you could even send a follow-up questionnaire after the event date and just say, 1 week later, I want to send them this questionnaire where I kind of get feedback and, how was your session? How would you rate the quality of service you got? Stuff like that. You can totally do that and just assign it here in this automatic items section of your workflow template. And so that would probably be the best way to do it automatically. So that way you don't have to, even do that. Okay, so another question is, can you go over the incremental time slots feature of booking pages? Absolutely. So if you haven't used the booking page yet, there's going to be a lot of new stuff in what I show you, Adam. So here we go. Let's go over settings and then booking pages. All right, I'm just going to load up this test booking page. All right, so here on my booking page, I've added a whole bunch of different services. And a service is just the type of event that I want them to be able to book. So, and then there's these 2 different time slot types. This little help tip will show you kind of the difference, but I'm going to actually visually show you since you asked. So predetermined time slot, you'll see it goes from 9 to 10 and then 10:15 to 11:15. There's no overlapping. They're just one right after the other, depending upon the duration and the cleanup, buffer in between each. And then incremental time slots, you'll see this goes from 9 to 10, 9:15 to 10:15, 9:30 to 10:30. Like they're overlapping based on a duration that you set up. So I'm going to show you the difference real quick. I'm going to view my booking page in the way it is now with that service. So here's my booking page, and they're going to go right over here to the 30-minute portrait session. And there's a whole bunch of a la carte items that people could upgrade to if they wanted to. Okay, now let's choose a time slot. And so here is 9 to 10, 10:15, 11:15, 2 to 3, and then 3:15 to 4:15, just based on my schedule. Some of these got blocked off. And now if I change this to incremental, and I'm selling it now, keep the duration of a 1-hour session, but in between each available time slot, generate them 15 minutes apart from each other. So I'm going to hit update. on that service. And then I'm just going to refresh this page so that way we can choose a time slot. And now you'll see, so the available time slots are 9 to 10, 9:15 to 10:15, 9:30 to 10:30, 9:45, 10:45. So, they're each now 15 minutes apart based on my availability. So, if there's any conflicts in between, then whole blocks of these will be gone and not available. But that's how you can do it, the incremental time slots. So, yeah, hope that helps. Just had another question about workflow templates. What type of email template does it need to be to show up in the automatic items section? Okay, so that's a great question. So here in this automatic items section, right now, my workflow type is set to event. So if I click here for an automatic email, the only email templates that will show up here are event typed email templates. Whereas in this add questionnaire, only questionnaire type email templates will show up. And so I'm going to just go to templates and email templates to show you each email template has its own type. So when you create a new email template, you first have to choose a type, whether it's a booking page, a client, where is it going to be sent from? A questionnaire. And so I'm going to choose questionnaire here, and you'll see that it's got a whole bunch of client information, but we also have this questionnaire external link. And so this is that link that I was talking about that the template will need. It'll get replaced. And I just clicked this little insert edit link and pasted the same variable here just so that the URL that they actually click on will get replaced as well. And when you send it, or when the system sends it, it'll just replace that variable or token, whatever you want to call it, with the actual URL for the questionnaire. And then they'll be able to click on it and fill it out and all that stuff. So this whole type column, each of these types, that matters. You can't send a payment email to a question, from a questionnaire because it's not the right type, or this special dates type of email template. This is for when you're sending a happy birthday or happy anniversary email. That won't have any payment information available from where it's being sent. So I hope that makes sense. Each email template type is there for a reason. Are there any other, anyone else want to see anything else? Any other questions? Cool. Well, I mean, if there's no other questions, then yeah, we can totally call this quits, unless there's something else you guys want to see. But if not, then I hope you guys all have a great Tuesday. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys later. All right, have a great one.